So they'll be calling you a radical. So I've been going through all morning. Wow. Did I call that or did I call that? That is the most ugly fucking earnings report in history. Now stay with me. General Electric, catch the... Anybody that's bought this, they're done. The bankruptcy, imminent. I don't give a fuck who's CEO. They can bring back fucking A.K.A. himself. Ain't fucking happening. So they just took a stroke, and it's being reported as 23 billion right now. No. They took a stroke. They wiped out 72 billion off their balance sheet in assets. You heard me right. 72 billion. So this is the bigger piece of this. This is major. Now remember, this is the Obama, Trump, DOJ. They don't go after anybody. Like white collar crimes, all that. The DOJ announced today that they are under investigation for what? Lying on their earnings, as Kevin Blanch has been saying. I'm glad I put those videos up along every report saying they're lying, you know, for evidence. And I used to call them out as evidence. So this was the most ugly earnings report in U.S. history. This fraud is so over the top. I don't give a fuck who the CEO is. This is the worst earnings report I ever saw in history. 72 billion wiped off the balance sheet. Just, and then they're trying to make Red Sox metaphors. Now you know they just recently moved to Boston. Fuck. Here on the University of General Electric. So this thing is so ugly. They're done. This stock's going to zero. It's bankruptcies. And now let me explain. I hear people, I remember at the Million Mass March last year, some young guy says, well, God, it's probably a hell of a white buy. I says, why? Because it dipped? I mean, catch the falling nuclear knife? That's when it was at what? I think it was fucking 18, 19. I started on this night, you know, going after, having you people short this stock in the 30s. I mean, I set my price tag a year ago at 11.33 and everybody thought I was fucking crazy. Oh, I ain't so crazy now, am I? Just like Fukushima fucking dying. Somebody says, they're mirrored. The salmon numbers in GE stock mirror. Absolutely. I mean, that's the way the fucking world works. This is, look, Jack Welch is the most corrupt CEO in history. No, he's second. Who's the most corrupt CEO in history? Jeff Immelt. So I mean, how can you not see this? The DOJ is going to, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck if it's Trump. Now, the Trump administration doesn't matter if the Democrats or the Republicans have Congress, the corporatists hoard them, but this country's not going to put up with another fucking bailout. I can tell you right now. Trump could say, and so there was a report came out, oh yeah, they're going to rebuild Iraq. No, they're not. That was a fucking false, talk about fake news. No, read through the whole thing. There's a joint contract with Siemens for, you know, a small, ain't going to happen. I mean, it's all fairy tale, fucking, you know, fascism bleeding in. So, let's go over to the balance sheet. The write-down, they lost $23 billion in this quarter in the write-down. But if you dive into they lost $77 billion just in assets because they're lying. The DOJ, that's the big piece. The SEC's had them under investigation for fucking 3 years now. Which, by the way, they didn't even disclose they had them under investigation. It took a whistleblower from GE had to announce that themselves. Miller. The fucking SEC? What the fuck? You know, the Obama, I mean, how may talk about horrible fuck. I mean, Jeff Immelt was his job, fucking czar. Come on. You know, the cover up of Fukushima. Now, let me explain the liability. I know of at least, because I've been contacting, because they watch me, they're going like, oh my God. Attorneys are talking to me. Of course, I'm going to get nothing. Just like I shut down everything, I'm going to get broke, is what I do. I just do all the dirty work here at the University of General Electric. Now, stay with me. I know of at least 20 investor lawsuits, and they admitted fraud. These are slam dunk. The amount of money that people lost in now remember, this was a Dow component, a dividend yielding safe haven, you know. Oh yay, they cut the dividend this morning, we're gonna buy. I mean, some of these vloggers and bloggers, they're that fucking stupid, degenerate in America. So they have literally trillions of dollars of liability, literally trillions in shareholders. They're going to lose every single, I mean, they're slam dunks, the easiest case in history. They've already admitted fraud. So the DAG's all of, this is one of those cases that DOJ is not going to be able to negotiate. Because G's going to do the same thing as GM, I can tell you right now. I don't give a fuck, like I said, Lee Iacocca comes back and fucking self. You know, right here, this fuckhead, that was the CEO here, Littlefield. By the way, his daughter, boy, she hates me. I don't have asses. Fucking billionaires, fucking made off fucking people killing the earth. So let's talk about the litigation. Let's talk about the liabilities off the balance sheet. Liabilities. Shareholder lawsuits, trillions of fucking dollars. Slam dunks, home runs. They've already admit they lied. They admit they've been lying on earnings reports for 30 years. That's slam dunk. Fucking everybody who lost 5 cents is going to win. Okay. How about pensions? They have 180 billion. You people think I'm crazy on it. No, it's true. A pension's a promise to pay. They don't have it. USS Reagan, that's going to expand into the 10s, 20, 50, but they waited too long. So what's she going to do? I'll tell you how. I mean, you could play at this game, Flannery, whatever, fucking just more fraud, catch the falling nuclear or not. Here's how it's going to play out. Just like fucking GM. They're going to file bankruptcy. Okay, and this is how the corporate scam works. The shareholders of the bondholders, they're getting 0.0. The liabilities will be whopped away. They'll fucking reissue new fucking stock. That's exactly what just like GM did. GM fucked everybody. Fucked the community they made the money off back. Fuck Detroit. Fuck the state of Michigan. Fuck the country. Fuck the shareholders. Fuck the bondholders. Fuck the country. Fucked everybody. And then, same people just reissued stock and moving these fuckers. Hey, go team, you fucked this. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're done. Anybody owns a stock, and all you people that bought the options and things, I accept tips, I don't have any money, you know that. I got wiped out. Think about the money I would have been worth, but it wasn't meant to be, was it? Was it? I had bigger fish to fucking fry, as they say. Oh, they fried the fish. The much thing bigger than this is the collapse of the Pacific Ocean. The salmon are in the collapse of, killed the fucking sea. As the salmon numbers collapse, fucking Kevin Blanche. Fucking, of course, despite that I was ever born to set this right. Son of Cassandra. It's true. So, the liabilities are literally trillions. Literally. This DOJ investigation, which I've been screaming for fucking years. I protested in front of Times Square. I was live on set. I've been going at this. I've been calling out this GE corruption for fucking decades. For decades. Nobody will listen to me. Here it's come out. They need to go to jail. Jeff Immelt belongs in. Immelt. How about the cover up of Fukushima? You think there's some liability? What is the punitive damage for killing the Pacific Ocean? How about they're fucking killed my mom and my fucking dad? My dad nuked to death and Nevada tested by his own DOE, which is fucking GE, bringing all death to life. How about their fucking rest home fucking extended life policies, and they're being accused of fucking killing fucking hundreds of people in rest homes to fucking save money? Oh, how about their fucking turbines in China? We're going to put on a new generational 5 fucking reactor. They don't work. How about that litigation? There's more litigation out of China, out of fucking India, all over. They don't work. They don't work. They're half built. These countries have invested fucking trillions into them. They don't work. They're failing. They were a fairy tale fucking lie, just like the whole nuclear industry. So, this stock's going to zero. I'm here to tell you. I just listened to that and I did, what did I call that? This is the most ugly earnings report in history. On top of the DOJ investigation, their balance sheet is trillions of dollars to the fucking bad. Trillions. The shareholder lawsuit is fucking staggering. They just wiped up 77. They got nothing. Not one single of their components. I listened to the whole thing. None of the components are doing well at all. None of them. They're all fucking, look, it was a house of cards for years. CNBC Kramer has liability. Fucking CNBC, they owned it. Propagandist whores. Sue CNBC. You need to go after Kramer personally. Maria Bartiromo, all of them, everybody that got on their knees for him. They were all in on it together. Where's the Federal RICO Acts? It's fucking criminals hell. As I said, organized crime from hell. The greatest fucking crime syndicate, crime family, fucking serial killers in history. Gee, they're serial killers. Mass killers. Fucking Kevin Blanche versus the nuclear energy crime syndicate. Fucking. Kevin reached into the bag and he slung the fucking stone. The name of Fombeck Brody. The name of fucking Bernard Devoto. Fucking. Stewart Library, Weber State University. The General Electric built on the backs of fucking my dead father's fucking body and millions of others on the back of the Dead Sea. I fight for her, she fights for me.